But first, we got to check out some gaming news. I'm not even going to bother running the gaming news intro because it's stupid old. It's bad. It's bad. I'm not running it. Anymore.
You just don't want to risk me interrupting it.
I know you're going to interrupt it. That's
wait. I got this. Gaming news on Final Encounter Cast.
Stop it.
To Kelly.
That was horrible.
God, I hate you guys.
Maybe next time you'll just run the fucking production piece.
I'm butthurt, man.
All right.
God damn it.
On to
fine,
gaming news.
Fine. God damn you, fine.
Or we did the intro.
To do the news tonight.
And that's the way
I'm socially awkward.
news goes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we
I hate
interrupt
you all.
this program
So
to bring
much.
you important
That was such a great team
Here's a
effort.
story
Good job,
that's
Justin.
out of this
Good job, Chris and Nika.
I'm just running it. Okay. All right.
It's really long, I feel.
All right. On to gaming news. It has been confirmed that since every other character in existence is in Mortal Kombat 10, so too shall be Leatherface and Xenomorph from Alien.
And isn't it Freddy Krueger's rumored too, isn't he?
He's already in there.
Oh, he's already. What fucking point do we draw the line here?
Never.
Comic books. Oh, wait.
No.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's just like, does anyone at all care that Xenomorph is in a fighting game? Like, is that anything that anyone has ever the only reason that I don't pick up that fighting game is it doesn't have the alien from Alien.
Okay,
in it.
but no, it's more like, oh wow, the alien from Alien is in this game? I gotta go pick this game up. I've always wanted to fight as Alien.
Quote, no one ever.
Okay, well, hold on.
Yeah, I said nobody ever.
We should at least give them credit. It is Mortal Kombat. It's about killing people, and they put a bunch of mass murderers in there. What I'd like to see is a fatality where the Xenomorph bursts forward from the chest or whatever, or maybe Scorpion, pushes his hand through. Then the Xenomorph pops up. He's like, "Hey, that's my gig." That's what I'm looking for.
Just like that?
Just like that. That's my gig. Yeah.
Does he talk?
Boo.
Yeah. The little one comes out of his mouth and he says it. Hey, that's my
Does he
gig.
speak English?
Well, and then this
Yeah.
he would. Or he'd... And then there'd be subtitles.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I heard Namor slated for next year, too. It's going to be an exciting patch.
Oh my god.
What about
Nobody.
Animorphs?
This is just proof, absolute 100% objective proof. Nobody cares about Mortal Kombat anymore. Nobody cares about Mortal Kombat anymore.
Least of all their developers.
Meanwhile, over in Smash...
Exactly. Smash gets 2 characters. People lose their goddamn mind.
Every time. They lost their mind over Cloud, now they're losing their mind over this.
The fucking game almost went up a rating in Japan because of the addition of Bayonetta.
I am so pissed that they didn't include all of her assets.
Like, what the fuck, man?
Boobs.
And ass. Her ass
ass.
is way
Her ass-
smaller.
ass-
Dude, Mortal Kombat could not be trying any harder. Like, they
Honestly,
can't, and nobody cares.
I
No,
checked
they
out
could be
of-
trying harder.
I checked out
That
of
is
that-
not A+ work right there.
I
That's
checked
awful.
out on that game back during the Sega.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah.
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 Terrible.
Over in League of Legends, during the 1v1 World Championships, professional player Froggen lost twice by accident in an incredibly rare and nearly impossible timing
all right.
event.
So I actually came across this article and
Yeah.
didn't fully understand it, being as, I played League, but
Right.
still, and I think a lot of us are on
Right.
the same page. So,
Yeah.
Callie, could you break this down
Well,
for
we've
us?
got the video here.
We have the video, but I'm going to lend a little bit of perspective to the video, because if you're just watching the video, you're kind of like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
So in this 1v1 mode, you win by getting a kill on your opponent, blowing up his tower, or killing 100 of the little minion dudes.
So obviously going for the one kill, it's risky, but that's the quickest way to shut the game
But that would be the fastest way to end it, would be at the kill. You also have an ability called Mark, where you throw a snowball at your opponent, and then you're allowed to jump to them if you hit them with it.
Okay.
What happened here, and we guess we can start rolling the video.
All right, we'll roll the video here.
So the player at the top is Olaf, and that is who Froggen is playing, and he's currently just being bullied
name is
out of
Olaf?
lane. Yeah, the character's name is Olaf. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he throws a snowball.
Yes, he does in this case.
Chris is
Normally he
like, why
throws
am I
axes.
not playing this?
Yes.
You want to build
All right, so when he goes into the...
Double Lift is now going into the bush, and he's recalling to go back to base. Basically, he wants to get all of his HP MP back and buy items.
And you're invisible
There
when
it
you're
is,
in there.
in the brush. So there's what just happened. Basically, he was standing in the brush, recalling to go back. You cannot be seen. The Olaf was throwing a snowball in
Because
there.
he knew he was in the bush.
He knew he was in the bush.
Right.
He's trying to get him revealed. He hits him right before the recall goes off, and if you can do that within 0.1 seconds of the recall going off, it will not interrupt the recall. So he recalled right as Olaf tried to teleport
Wow.
to him and was pulled back to base where he was instantly killed.
Because if you get on their base, you die.
A giant laser shoots at you if you go on their base and was instantly killed.
What are the chances of that happening?
I've never seen it happen. It was and like I said, it has to happen within a 0.1 second timing to make it happen.
And he's invisible, so it's not like
It's not like-
you can time that
That's
at
not
all.
like a
You,
game
he had no
glitch or
way to
something?
time it because, like, literally, you cannot see him recalling. He does not know that's happening. All he's trying to throw that snowball in there is to see what he's up to. Literally, he's trying to reveal him.
Yep.
He happened to catch them right as the recall went off and jumped onto him, pulled all the way back to base, and was killed.
So the guy who played Olaf then
Plain talented.
Yeah, he
demanded a rematch.
He demanded a rematch from his opponent.
Hang on.
saying,
Okay, so
"Holy
wait.
shit."
Here's
Stop,
here. Wait.
stop,
Let's
hold
let's look at the move one more time.
Sure,
This
let's
is the
take a look
actual.
at it
This is
again.
the move one more time.
Yep.
All right. So
Snowball
there's
goes
the
off.
snowball right
Yep,
there.
yep.
All right. We see the snowball. All right. And there it checks.
There's the hit,
There it
and there
is.
he goes.
he teleports to him and boom.
And you get blown up on base. When he got onto the base, he probably had maybe a half second or a
Look
second
at
more.
him. He's like, oh my god, that happened.
Yeah,
Look at this dude.
he's the guy who lost. That's Froggen.
I love the.
And
Is
Double
he
Lift is like,
American?
that really just happened. Double Lift is European.
Okay, all right.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Froggen is European.
Wow. That's pretty incredible.
Is this-
Unbelievable timing. And not only that, when he got teleported to his base, Double Lift had to deal a little bit of damage to get credit for the kill. So he actually got a shot off on base to get the credit.
So now this happened not just once.
Yeah, it's just like,
So
was this
basically,
best of three
the
or
guy,
what?
okay, this is a best of 3 game, and Double Lift's already won the first game at this point. This happens, and Froggen demands a rematch because he's like, that was unbelievable. That could
unheard
never
of.
happen. That's
Yeah.
never happened ever. I demand a rematch. And Double Lift grants him the rematch, saying,
Okay, so hold
same
on.
champions, let's just go again and do it the same way.
It's a 2 out of 3.
So did that make, because he demanded a rematch and the other guy gave it to him, did that null the first game out?
It nulled that game out.
Okay, so
So
that,
Double Lift is
now
still
they're-
up 1-0 at
So
this point.
yeah, so he was giving him another chance to
giving-
win. He had
right.
So
basically
he had already won
Yes.
once before.
Technically, he
this.
has now won 2 out of 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
and
Oh, wow.
he gave him
Wow.
a chance.
He gives up the second one, says, yeah, you know what, that was incredible. Let's pick the same champion, same abilities, and go again.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they did.
And
To an almost remarkable degree.
yes.
Here we go. Let's watch this one.
No, because
Oh, does not have the second one in there?
Yeah, somebly linked this poorly
All
and
right.
actually linked the second
Long
game
story
first.
short, the exact
Dumb shits.
same thing happens.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
Exactly the same thing happens a second time.
Amazing.
And
Struck by lightning twice.
Struck by lightning twice, and he demands another rematch, and Double Lift grants it again, and then just flat out beats him in the
Wow.
in the next one. And he has now won a 4 out of 7.
Now,
Well, to be fair, I'm sure at this point the guy is playing on tilt, so he's like,
Oh, God, he is so
he's
on
playing
tilt
at
by
like
the end
maybe
of that.
10% of his real ability.
Yeah.
all right, now,
It
now,
was
now, Callie, when we had talked about this previous, you actually said in the second rematch where the second snowball teleport thing happened that Double Lift is the guy who won, right?
Double Lift's the guy who won, yeah.
That he actually wasn't doing that great, and you think he might have, in a desperate attempt, tried to recreate that.
Well, no, I think the guy who was Froggen, who got killed again, tried to recreate it because he was down. He was the one who was
okay.
down. I think he might have, like, the way it happened the second time, I was just like, man, he had to know that recall was almost off. But again, it's a 0.1 second timing.
That's-
I'm not
that's
certain.
amazing.
With it being a 0.1 second timing, I mean, was that built into the game on purpose, or was
It
that like
didn't
a
used
glitch
to be that
they
way.
never
It used to be
fixed?
any amount of damage would just immediately stop the recall. And now they've added that 0.1 second in. It has something to do with an old character's ult that could deal any damage to anyone on the screen that was like screen people up.
Wow.
So
So they
that's why
added
they
that
changed
on purpose.
it.
So that's a very legit way to win.
It is technically legitimately.
It requires your opponent. It only can happen on that map because that summoner spell doesn't exist on all the other maps. So it can only happen on that map. And it's unbelievable. And it happened 2 games in a row.
Yeah, the fact that it happens twice in a row, I think, is the craziest part about that.
Man, their reactions,
Oh,
priceless.
dude.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
The announcers on the second one are just like, oh my god.
Gobsmacked.
They had no words for the second. Like the first one, they're just like, oh my god. The second one, they had no words for
Yeah.
it.
Unbelievable.
I honestly not a big fan of League at all,
Yeah.
but this kind of thing, I don't care who you are.
It's
this-
just amazing to
this
see.
is awesome.
yeah,
It's not
absolutely.
like really even a test of like a person's skill. It was just the other player being at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Just dumb fucking
Yeah.
luck.
The first one, especially where he's in the bush, has no idea
Right.
that he's even finishing his recall.
Right,
Yeah,
right. Oh,
unbelievable.
that's crazy. Crazy.
All right, so on to more news. Final Fantasy IV has been released on Steam. I think, and along with After Years, don't forget After Years. That's an important thing, I guess.
It's been out on Steam for a while now. I feel.
6, I thought, was the new one that got released.
6 is also the new one that also came out. Yeah, I got gifted Final Fantasy 4 a while back. So
Yeah, so 6 was the one that just
6 was
came,
the newest
right?
one. Then?
All right.
I thought 4 was the new one.
No,
Yeah.
I thought,
no.
I thought they released like 5 and 6 at the same time.
No, because 4 and the after years have been there because I've had the after years. So
Oh,
we
yeah, that's
gifted me
true.
the
Yeah,
after
yeah,
years.
yeah.
Right.
It had to have been
So
6.
6 is the new one,
All right.
and Juxta actually.
Well
way
researched.
to go, moron.
Damn it, 2 times now. Chris, you weren't really impressed with it, right? Like, I guess the graphical updates for 6 not all that great.
Oh no, it looks like garbage.
Why?
Why?
Final Fantasy 6 is the this mobile version of the game.
Yeah.
And their characters are just like this blurry, awful things which are terrible. But then they have like the monsters in the combat, and those like really look like high res, like really good good graphics on the
sprites.
Yeah, good sprites.
There
Thank
we
you.
go.
Thank
There's
you.
the word.
But like when it's like put up against the character models and shit for the character sprites, I mean, it just looks really, really awful. It's like Kali's playing Final Fantasy V, and it's those same style of character sprites,
Right.
and they're just
Ugh.
awful.
Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah, I know that they did a bunch of adjustments to the mobile version of 6 that just looked terrible. It made it look not good.
Is
So
the loading time good at least? Because I know the PS1 version, the loading time is horrendous.
all of those, any of those PS1 throwback games to SNES, they're all
horrible.
terrible.
They load
the
so
loading times
slow.
are so bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you fuck up loading times on games
I don't
like
know.
that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Truly, I
You'd
don't.
think after 20 years,
Right?
might be able to get that optimized well
Yeah,
enough.
come on now.
On Final Fantasy news, Final Fantasy 9 is set to be released on mobile platforms and PC. One feature will allow you to turn off random encounters.
Fucking finally.
Oh my god, right?
That's like
That's a weird feature.
That is a weird feature. I'm just glad that you can speed up the encounters because the amount of time that it takes for you to get like from the cutscene to play to actually start fighting in Final Fantasy 9 is an
Yeah.
eternity.
Yeah, and actually, I'm not surprised that they put in a feature like that because one of the big draws, I think, to going back and playing games like these are doing like the challenge type runs and being able to turn off random encounters. Makes it so that people can do the no level up or
Really
type
does
of
that,
stuff.
yeah.
Wait a minute.
Excalibur 2 is going to be piss easy to get
Hang
on.
on. Wait a minute. So you're more okay with Square Enix re-releasing Final Fantasy VII with like mildly better polygon graphics in it, and removing random encounters or adding the ability to buy what could you buy in the FF7, the PC version? You could like buy levels, or you could buy.
Buy like basically levels and like
Rare
99
candies.
items.
How is it?
Yeah.
Get them rare
wait,
candies.
how is it? Okay, because that's literally throwing microtransactions into Final Fantasy VII.
Okay,
That's literally what you're doing.
No,
and you're
that's-
wait, hang on. No. He's throwing less. He's not even throwing a little bit of a fit. He sat here and defended that decision for 9, but yet he's going to get all bent out of shape about the actual 7 remake. Come on, dude.
Two different things. Okay.
Yeah, okay, this is Final
For
Fantasy
one-
9 is not a remake. It's just a
re-release,
re-release.
which since we can't actually play it on PC right now, we need. And to be like, oh well, what about the fact that they're putting all these cheats in there? Dude, people have used fucking Game Sharks before. If they want to fucking cheat, they're gonna find a way to cheat.
But
it
it's
doesn't mean you have
monetized.
to.
It's monetized.
Okay, if those fuckheads want to spend their money,
That's
let them spend their fucking money.
Let the fucking morons pay $5 to have level 99 Cloud. Why do you care about that? Who cares?
It's
it's-
not
who
even
cares?
close to the same thing.
because it's such a money.
It
it's
is.
such a money grab.
It is. It absolutely is.
It's
Yeah.
such a gross money grab.
It is.
Square Enix is gonna make like $50 off of it, and they're gonna wonder why they bothered to implement that.
So wait, but you're gonna tell me
Hold on,
that
someone says that they weren't microtransaction in 7s, just cheats activated by certain buttons.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
All right,
I don't
that's
know.
better.
Whatever. But
guess.
still,
He says 9. I think it was microtransactions in 7. For
I think it
level,
was.
level 99. I remember that one.
Yeah, no, I think that's legit. It may be different for 9. I don't know. But it seems, I mean, like, honestly, just re-releasing the same shit, making you pay for it all over again, adding chintzy little features like microtransactions to the game, that all stinks of just a fucking a gross
sure.
money grab.
Absolutely. I'm just glad that I can play FF9 and not have to get out the dusty old PS2.
Well, there's a lot of
One.
other ways. There's a lot of other ways.
Oh, I tried doing ROMs. Ugh.
No, not even ROMs.
I don't have a Vita yet.
There's plenty of ways. There are plenty of ways. If you wanted to play 9, there are plenty of ways that you could do that.
Really?
Name them.
Yeah.
Well, there is a Vita. If you have a PS3, you can download all of the PS1 library to your PS3. There's the PS2 and the PS1. If you have both of those systems last forever. So if you have one of those and you have the cords, just plug that fucker in.
I mean, there's another console on my dash that's gonna like take up more room.
Yeah, I just want
Now I can
everything
have
in Steam nowadays.
Steam?
You just need
Steam.
everything in Steam.
I bet
It comes
they'll
down
have
to
Steam
it comes
cards.
down to I want to be able to stream it.
I want Steam cards.
It's fine. It's fine that it's out on Steam. It's fine, but I'm just saying that like, how is that like not a big deal? But yet somehow pouring a whole bunch of development into remaking the game. How is that?
Is this something you want to get into right now?
Yeah, this sounds a lot like Final Fantasy VII remake talk. And you said
I'm just
no.
saying. No, I'm just saying.
Well, you said no.
I'm just saying.
You can't sit here and berate me for it and offer me the question if you don't actually want to get into it. That's not fair.
You have inconsistent dogma.
No, I don't.
Yes, you
no,
do.
I don't.
You absolutely
no, I don't.
do. You do.
How much development really went into a Switch that turns off random encounters?
It doesn't matter. It's what I'm saying is that that's just it's Square Enix. I don't think they have any more original ideas. I think they're just re-releasing their same shit over and over and over
that's
again.
That's been true for a very long time.
You may say that, but maybe Final Fantasy Worlds will change your mind.
God, I doubt it. I doubt it. All right, let's move on.
All right, so over in Japan, we now have a trailer with some gameplay footage for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Looks the same.
Yeah.
Yes, it's like 10 years later, and it still looks like the same fucking game.
Nothing has fucking changed.
But I mean, at this point, aren't people just waiting for like a continuation of the convoluted story that no one understands?
Yeah, what is the story to Kingdom Hearts?
Well, now let's hang on. Let's just remind everyone. Let's just remind everyone that this trailer came at the end of a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 2.8, which is something that is. I know. I don't know. I can't follow this shit either. But it came at the end of a trailer for something called Kingdom Hearts 2.8. Wait, I can't even fucking follow this shit
I feel like
anymore.
the people playing or making Kingdom Hearts are just constantly on acid.
Okay, if you read the wiki articles on the characters and stuff, it's easy enough to figure out.
Please
But
stop.
I will say,
okay.
without reading the wiki, it is very difficult.
I'm so glad I have to read a wiki to understand the game.
Nika, come on.
I enjoyed the story significantly more. Like after I played, what was it?
Now that everything
The
makes sense.
Dream-
Oh.
No, it wasn't. It was the Birth by Sleep. After playing that, I went through and looked up all the wikis for all the characters in that game, and I actually understood it.
Man, I'm so glad I got the Cliff Notes for Kingdom Hearts. Now this game's awesome.
Good God. It just seems it's so unnecessarily dense is my problem with it. Is that it's a game that has Disney and Square Enix characters. It doesn't need to also be a text as thick as War and Peace. Like it's just unnecessary.
That's true. Like it's fan service. That's what it has going for it, and that should be enough. You don't need. Ugh.
You know what?
No,
I think
no, because if all it had going for it was fan service, that would be a complaint. It'd be like, it's only fan
Well,
service. there's no
obviously,
story.
it would have a story as well. What we mean is the story doesn't need to be this damn convoluted.
Yeah.
You know what? I just realized why I don't like Kingdom Hearts. It takes two of my favorite things, Final Fantasy and Disney movies, and it adds a third factor to it, which just makes it all shit. It adds anime to it.
You're not.
Kingdom Hearts is like the most anime thing, and they just
Get your
fucking,
weeb out of my Final Fantasy.
They weeaboo-ized Final Fantasy and Disney all in one.
Yeah,
sure
it just
did.
makes it all shit.
I don't know.
I said
I don't
nobody.
I'm not sure you're
I said
allowed to say
hard.
you weeabooed Final Fantasy.
Someone's
Maybe Disney, you can say that.
I don't know. Someone's asleep, and there's what the fuck is happening? It's anime. It's anime bullshit. You don't. It's not important.
In a true anime bullshit, you fight with a giant fucking key
Instead
The
of a
most-
yeah.
the most retarded thing ever.
Not to mention, it has the most ridiculous and annoying like ships ever. Like, ugh.
God, is that
Just
really?
stop. Just
yeah,
stop.
Stop talking. I'm just gonna.
No, I had to put up
Play
with this in
the
my
video.
stream one night.
I'm just gonna play the fucking trailer. It's playing. Whatever.
How many years has it been? And Soros hasn't grown up at all.
Who knows?
No,
who
he
can
definitely
even,
has. He's definitely older than the first one.
You know what? Again, this.
Show those Pikmin who's boss.
And I honestly don't think it's that many years. I think it's probably only like 2 years, the whole series.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I'll play it and I'll enjoy it.
But I'm not
Stick to your guns,
It
Cal.
skipped a console generation. There was no
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts on PlayStation 3. The last one came out on PlayStation 2, and then a bunch of handhelds.
To be fair, nothing came out on PlayStation 3.
No, I'm just seriously. I don't. Square Enix is done. This is it. Like they're out of shit.
Look
and
how smooth the gameplay is, though.
okay, it took them what? Like, but how long did it take them to fucking make it? Like that's the thing. Their output has just been sad. It's been pathetic.
You know what?
To be fair, though,
They're even
most
using
of
the same enemies.
Most of the handheld spin-offs were very good, though. Like Dream Drop Distance and Birth by
You're
Sleep.
not. You're not going to convince me of that. You're never going to
Birth
convince
by
me
Sleep
of
was
that.
very good, and Dream
Never
Drop
gonna
Distance
convince
was
me.
also good.
Maybe they need to take the page out of Assassin's Creed book and have Kingdom Hearts every year.
Yeah, there's one
No.
every
You know
year.
why? You know
Although,
why?
It's pretty
Supposedly,
derivative.
supposedly not this year.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, like at what point do you just go, okay, this is just too much? Like I can only all right, I'm playing through the Uncharted series, and at some point I go, I'm like good on Uncharted for a while. You know what I mean? Like, dude, that's so much. That's like 9 Kingdom Hearts games before you get to fucking Kingdom Hearts 3. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, that is a game that gets remade
dense.
and like
It's
changed
so
a lot.
unnecessarily dense. It's ridiculous.
I'm pretty sure that was not planned from the start. Like something
No,
happened in the
because
inner workings of the company.
I know
where
exactly what
Kingdom
it
Hearts
is.
3
They got
pushed
hooked to
aside.
LSD.
LSD is a hell of a drug.
They got hooked. All right, after they finished Kingdom Hearts 2, right? They all got out like their fucking Game Boys or whatever the fuck the handhelds were on, right? They started taking LSD, right? And then they're like, dude, you know what needs to come next for Kingdom Hearts? Boom. Holding up their handhelds, and then they just never stopped taking LSD.
They've been on one long acid trip for like a decade now.
I'm just not. I don't know. It's. Ugh.
All right, so World of Final Fantasy. This will be right up your alley, Nero.
Oh, yeah.
When I first read this headline, honestly, that's what I thought. I'm like, I can't wait for Nero to rage about this because it sounded like
Nate.
Fuck.
Wow,
Seriously.
We're
It's
horrible
hard.
today.
You're the
come
worst.
on.
You are the
I am
worst.
the
No, I
worst
think
today.
I'm the worst today.
No.
I've already
Damn.
3 misses.
Oh, I've done 3 too.
Oh, okay, we're tied.
All right. Anyway, Nate. I thought Nate would be the worst because when I thought it was like Final Fantasy Record Keeper, but just on PS4 and the Vita, right? But apparently no. Apparently it's much more than that. All right. It's going to be an actual full standalone game where 2 twins are teleported to some world called the Grimoire, where Final Fantasy characters are basically, and you can it's Kingdom Hearts.
What?
No, it's not.
Hold on.
my
In
God.
concept, but just with Final Fantasy characters, and I guess you go around collecting and befriending monsters like Pokemon style.
So it's Pokemon Final Fantasy?
But they say it's not just a clone of like Pokemon or Monster Hunter, and the core gameplay is battling, collecting and befriending these monsters and going around like exploring stuff. There's an actual story in there. Chiba's the one who's doing it, and he's worked on 6, on 7, on 8, and he says as far as like the story goes, they're looking at stories that are in scope and size to those 3 games.
Which is a big undertaking.
It is.
Huge.
It is. And I guess the whole reason for the whole like chibi thing is they want to appeal to a bigger market than just Final Fantasy fans, and they're hoping to draw in more people.
And you
because
can
of-
switch between them also.
Yeah,
Guys,
apparently.
guys, I think we're missing the bigger point that this is Chiba's Chibis.
Yes.
Yes, Chiba's making
It's
it.
Chiba's Chibis.
Yes, that.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you.
okay.
Thank
I
you,
mean,
Chris.
yeah, they do say it's supposed to be like a $60 full game worth of content.
Yeah, it's not like a mobile thing. It's not
Yeah.
a freemium game. Like
I mean, it's going to have a real story with real plot twists and real in-depth characters.
About
Because I'm not sure if it's-
twins.
Well, yeah. So
It's
but
a
I'm not
real
sure.
story about twins in a grimoire.
It's a fan fiction. Can we just
Yeah,
call
this-
it what
that's-
it is?
okay,
It's a
I'm
fan
good.
fiction. It's a Mary Sue fan fiction.
I am fine with that.
That
I
is
accept
awesome.
that.
And they're just
I
trying
accept that label.
They're trying to hook all the new kids into Cecil and Locke from the old Final Fantasy that they're
I
never
mean,
going
I
to play.
think that is what it is because they make the chibi. They're trying to bring in new people. Look at the preteens, the teens of this generation. This is what attracts them. They're going to be introduced to all of these Final Fantasy characters, and then as they're re-releasing, say 7, or they're actually, like, things like putting 9 on Steam. Now these characters are gonna, or the new teenagers are gonna be like, hey, I recognize that character. Let me try out their
Not
game.
to mention, these look exactly like the Funko Pop things that there are everything. I don't know. I don't know if there's
People are
Final Fantasy
obsessed
Funko
with those.
Pop.
There
There isn't
are not.
actually.
Yet.
There are not, but there will be shortly, I'm sure.
Oh God.
Well, be right back, guys. I got a Teen Titans fan fiction I've been working on. I'm going to go get a game made out of it.
This is serious.
Hey,
It's
you know what?
There's still so much that's unknown about it, though. Like,
Yeah.
But I mean,
right.
what role do the
here's the
Final
thing,
Fantasy
though.
characters actually play?
I understand where Nate's concern and frustration is coming from. It's not the fact that they're making, like, it's not the fact that these games might suck, because they could be great. The fact is they're just reusing their same properties, and that kind of thing could lead to stagnation. Where's the new stuff? You know?
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
wants there to be new things. Like you know
whenever
what?
Square Enix tries new stuff, they flop.
This very well could be something that if you made Nate sit down and play, he might actually enjoy it, but that's not going to take away his chief concern, and that is that there's nothing new about it.
Right. Yes. No. That's and that is true. And like that. I think that's the thing, is that my concern for Square Enix is on such a base level for the fact, like, can they still make good quality games anymore? That
Well, obviously they can, because the games are quality.
But I think
But
they
the
need to,
stories are shit.
They need to move on from some of these IPs. I think they're just stuck in a hole with some of these. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's not so defensible, because the Final Fantasy universe gets a reboot with every new number. So I mean, I don't know, man.
it's weird, because they do make good games, but the Final Fantasy ones seem to are the good ones, right? Then they make these bad ones that aren't the IPs.
Yeah.
And like, if you were to switch those, like take a game. What was
Right.
one of their flops? Let's not use Soul Suspect.
Last Remnant.
Last
Remnant, that was a good one.
Let's take Last Remnant and let's take Final Fantasy 12, okay? If you flip-flop the titles, right?
Right.
Last Remnant would have been good. Final Fantasy 12 would have been bad, right? You don't think that Final Fantasy 12 name would have made Last Remnant's gameplay good?
No,
would it?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
So, like, how?
Another
How
thing
are they still going down this path to where their IPs just happen to be bad and all their FFs
Because
keep being good?
They don't know how to make good games anymore.
Well, another thing that might be contributing
They
to the
just don't.
stagnation is it just me, or has it been a long time since there's been a new Final Fantasy game out? Like,
Well,
because
obviously.
13 had 3 parts to it. Like,
Yeah.
it has been a long time since we've had a fresh FF universe.
Yeah.
Like imagine that FF13 wasn't FF13, right? They called it something completely different.
Yeah.
It would have still been, well, I mean, it would have been
Personal
decent.
feelings on FF13
Personal
aside.
feelings aside.
I think it would have been right without the Final Fantasy
Right,
game.
so there's their new IP. So they can make good games. It's just we don't look at them as new IPs because they're Final Fantasy, but they're new games every time.
So hang on. So what exactly is this game? I mean, you guys put a lot of words onto it, but I'm not sure that I totally.
Can you put it in terms of fan fiction for him?
No. I get no. The story. The story's. Story's a write-off. I'm not.
The story is unknown. We don't know.
I don't give a shit about the story. But no, you guys said Pokemon and you guys said Monster Hunter.
It
What the fuck
sounds
is this?
It sounds like fan fiction. Like they're taking two twins, a boy and a girl. So it's more like, hey, anyone who's playing can relate because they're like this character. So they throw them into a world where the Final Fantasy monsters exist that you recruit and put on your team. And in the trailer, you see them like fighting with the monsters like on your team.
it
There's,
is
like, four monsters around them.
ATB based. It's turn based.
It is ATB, which is what people are saying they want apparently.
Worked well for
I mean, and it is. You do see like chibi versions of the really tough-looking
Bravely
monsters
Default.
too,
Bravely
which
Default,
is kind
yeah.
of cool.
And
But
it's not all chibi. Apparently, you can transform between chibi form and like the normal
They kind of
person
look like
form.
they kind of look like
Right.
Kingdom Hearts almost.
Right.
Yeah.
I think like what it sounds closest to me is Pokemon, but there's definitely differences.
It seems like they've taken a lot of different gameplay aspects from a lot of popular games and kind
And
of
just
melded it all
Threw
in
it
there.
all together.
But for there to be like a real story
Well,
with like some
here's the
twist,
thing.
I'm not sure like how big of a role do each of these FF characters play. Like in the trailer, you see them run out in the middle of a battle, and then it just kind of ends, and you don't have any idea what role.
Right,
the other
and plus,
characters
you know,
actually
they
play.
say that it's not just a clone of Pokemon or of Monster Hunter, so I don't think that they've just taken, you know, this mechanic and been like, all right, here it is for us now. I think that they found a way to probably meld them all in correctly. Hearing all of this stuff together, what's popping out in my mind is a game that's similar to Suikoden. You go around collecting characters that help you throughout the story that you can battle and fight with, right? And I assume that there's probably going to be a shit ton of these monsters that you can collect
Okay.
that are going to have to go somewhere, right? So you probably recruit them, send them back to wherever your base location is,
Shining
right?
Force.
And you go around, collecting, befriending these things to increase your army or just your options for fighting and stuff.
Okay, all right. So
It obviously
basically,
is
like
fan
every other
service.
game that has been coming out in the last 5 years, like that seems to be an aspect that's been tacked onto a lot of different games. I mean, Metal Gear Solid had that with the whole base building and the whole army recruitment thing. You had that.
It's just that this
Assassin's
one taps
Creed
into the
had an
fan
element of that.
service. That's what it is. It takes the same thing, but instead of recruiting like random soldiers,
Yeah.
you recruit like your favorite enemies and monsters from all the games through all time.
Yeah, see, that makes it
So-
sound real casual, Nick. I don't like that. It's too cutesy.
But that's what I mean. I do think it's good. I don't think it's going to be like, even though he says that Final Fantasy is known for heavy story, so I want to keep that in there, even though this is supposed to be lighthearted. I don't see this being an FF7 style story. I
No.
don't see
Well,
this
no,
being
okay,
that
no,
kind
it
of
can't
epic
be.
grand where people die and things are going to
Well,
shit. Like I
no,
don't see
it's
that
not, he
happening.
just says at the end it's not going to be dark, mature,
Right,
gritty.
but it's still supposed to have some kind of heavy feel to it to make it feel like a Final Fantasy.
I don't
and
know.
I'm just not sure it's going to have that.
Yeah, I don't think it will. All right,
Well, we'll see. It's supposed to get a 2016 release, so.
Yeah,
All right.
We'll see.
So on to some news from Sega, which is kind of a rarity. Project Dream, we've gotten a little bit of clarification on what that is. People were expecting that was a petition to get Sega to make the Dreamcast 2 effectively. No, it's not even that. It's a petition to get Sega to return to gaming consoles.
Well, kind of, isn't
Wow.
it? It's a
What?
campaign that
Right.
basically they're trying to garner enough interest in this campaign to be like, look, Sega, there's a market for you to return
to get Sega to Japan to look and say, oh shit, that's a lot of people
Yeah.
who want this product. They have a developer on board who has agreed to create the console if greenlit. It is effectively a campaign to show Sega Japan that there is still a market for Sega consoles.
They want to make
But
another
as we know,
Sega
by
console.
Every campaign like this that ever goes for any game or system or company, they never go through with it.
Sega has never shown any real interest, I think, in coming back to the console market
No!
since they
They
left
They
it.
can't even
No.
fucking make games anymore.
No,
How are
they
gonna make a
can't.
console?
Yeah.
They can't. They're every game
so how is
sucks.
there a market if that's the case?
They're
fanboys.
Furries. Sonic furries.
What's the number? What's the number of people that have signed on to this campaign? It cannot be that much. It can't be.
Did not have a number.
Yeah, again,
That's the
I don't.
article.
I don't think it's so much like because when you talk about numbers of signatures, that's more in the realm of a
Change.org.
yeah, like a petition, right? This
Yeah.
isn't
Right.
a petition.
It's just a campaign.
It's just a campaign. Like I don't know if
This would be more like the Surge movement thing that there was.
I don't know if they're taking donations or what, but yeah.
So this is basically just a bunch of people going around to other people and going, "Hey, wouldn't it be awesome if Sega made a console again?"
And everyone else
That
like, I
sounds
guess.
retarded.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's got to be more than that though, because you said they have a developer who's actually said
They have a
"Look,
developer
yeah."
who is on board and will create the system. But I mean,
Oh
that
my
could, for
God.
all I know, that could be some guy who just
my
said, "Hey, I
God.
made hardware once."
It's just, I can't see where they would go with that. I mean,
Yeah.
they barely make games as it is. They would need to have first party
God, they've
games
sold off
as
so
well
many
as
of their
make deals
IPs.
with third party companies. I just don't see that happening.
I don't either.
I don't either.
Plus, hang on. Do we honestly, do we really need a fourth console?
No.
Do we?
We barely have a third one.
Exactly. That's my point. I mean, yeah, Nintendo has not done a good job at competing in the console market. It really is only the two, and then when you look at the sales, it's really only the one. I mean, Sony's just been beating the shit out of Microsoft
that
in
seems
the
to
sales
flip-flop
department.
back and forth based on the generation.
It does.
There is
It-
no scenario where Sega puts a console on the market and
No.
becomes a threat to either
No.
of them.
I mean, come
it's
on.
never going to happen.
No.
Even the Steam machine isn't anywhere on the map.
No, of course, no, and of course it's not.
And I would rather own a Steam machine than a new Sega console.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
So a mini documentary has been released about Perfect Dark, which is, of course, the spiritual successor to GoldenEye 007.
You know, I actually sat down and watched this.
How was it?
was
I'm
really-
interested in it.
It was really good. It was legitimately a very well put together documentary.
Yes.
I actually didn't know this much about Perfect Dark's development, but it did jog a memory that that was the first game that I think I bought that required the
expansion
N64
pack.
expansion
Yeah.
pack.
Yeah.
And
It didn't require it, but boy, was that game crippled without it.
Yeah.
well, no, it was the one that everyone said you needed it for, and it was the
Right.
one where I like bought it, and then I went out and I bought the expansion pack at the same time. And it's I mean, just the story of the production of that game is actually legitimately very interesting. And I thought,
Yes.
you know, watching it, I was like, you know, I'd love to see more stuff like this. I would love to see like the story behind what, you know, the development studio is doing at the time. You know,
Yeah,
like,
well, suppose I haven't gotten to sit down and watch the documentary. I want to because Perfect Dark was one of my favorite games of all time. But supposedly that like there was a big push for them to do it just a sequel to GoldenEye, and they had to really fight for Perfect Dark.
Yeah, that's actually the thing that surprised me was that people they were trying to be like, here, look, make another GoldenEye for us, make another GoldenEye for us.
Yes.
Here's money, and that they're like, no, we want to do our own thing.
Yeah.
That's
actually,
really
yeah,
cool.
the fact because they walked away from the 007 franchise.
They did.
That's kind of
Because there was
so gutsy to walk away from
I
that
know.
IP too. Holy shit.
And yeah, because they knew that they had the strength to, the strength of the game to be able to build off of. Because, I mean,
yeah.
007 was a great game. Like, there's no way around that.
Absolutely.
GoldenEye was just such a fucking amazing game. And, building on that, really, they didn't change a whole lot from GoldenEye, but
No.
they
refined it
enough.
so well.
Yep, exactly.
Perfect Dark is an outstanding game. It's a masterpiece in
It
my
is.
opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when people think of the best N64 games, it's like
Pokemon Snap.
You ass.
That game was so fun, though.
it was fun.
Mario
sure.
Kart.
No, not even
Smash?
Ocarina of Time.
Smash,
Ocarina of Time. Smash.
Star Fox, Donkey Kong.
No.
Star Fox?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Mario
Star Fox.
64.
Number 3 is 007 for sure.
Yeah.
Number 3 is GoldenEye, hands down.
I know we were
Banjo-Kazooie.
ranking
I'm
them.
not ranking this. Star
Hands
Fox
down.
Banjo-Kazooie was the best.
Banjo-Kazooie is my favorite game on the N64. Oh, anyway.
No, I'm just saying, like
It's
when-
up there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
definitely up
All
there.
right.
All right, so creator of the original Final Fantasy, Hironobu himself, and head of Mistwalker Studios, announces plans to create a new game this year.
What was the last game that they actually did?
They're working on a mobile game, but the last console game that they did was The Last Story on the Wii, which I did not
And
play.
That was a good game.
Was it? Nika, did you play it?
I have not played it all the way. My husband has played it, and I have tons of friends who played it. I watched him play it. It is a good game.
Well, here's the thing with Mistwalker. Like, all their games were great. Blue Dragon, despite its art direction, was really good. Obviously, Lost Odyssey.
I defend Blue Dragon's art direction.
No,
because
yeah, it was
Toriyama
good.
is great.
It was good. It was good. Not my cup of tea, but it
Right.
was obviously excellent.
Yeah.
Obviously,
the
Lost
gameplay was awesome.
Yeah, Lost Odyssey was fucking
Lost Odyssey. Oh my god, dude. Lost Odyssey, one of my
underrated.
favorite games. Yeah.
And the last Remnant? No, the last story you said it was.
The Last
another one?
Story, yes.
Story.
Yes.
That was good. So like they're making great games. So what the fuck's the problem?
Well,
like
here's the-
why is nobody latching onto these?
First of all, I mean, the heads, the talking heads of the video game world declared turn-based combat dead about 10 years ago, and every developer was scared off from doing turn-based combat. And now, when we stop and we take stock, now I think we look at when you look at games like Undertale, when you look at games like Bravely Default, and you see their success, there's actually still people out there. It's Jim Sterling did a great video about this a couple of weeks ago, where he defended turn-based combat as still a very much a viable game method. And I think that Hironobu Sakaguchi was one of the very, very last people in the video game industry from a development standpoint that was really willing to defend that genre.
Yeah.
And he did so with Lost Odyssey, and he sort of pinned the studio on it a little bit. And we haven't heard much out of Mistwalker in the years since
They've been
The
doing
Last Story.
their mobile strategy game.
They have, and I'm not sure if that's working out for them. I don't know. I don't know.
Supposedly Terra
anything
Battle's
about-
doing pretty successfully.
That's good. That's great for that. That's awesome. But the thing is I have to mention this about this article. It does not say whether or not it's going to be part of Mistwalker.
Right.
They just said that Hironobu Sakaguchi was the one to announce a new game
In the actual article, it does mention him as head of Mistwalker.
Mist Walker Studios and they mentions his former position at Square Enix as well. But it makes me wonder if it's going to be a Mist Walker project or not. I don't know. If it is, I think that's great because I think he's got a really solid team at Mist Walker.
And to be honest, I actually didn't know that Mist Walker was still doing stuff because they kind of dropped off the map.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of that article, hearing Hironobu say that he dislikes sequels is hysterical.
Why is that?
Because Final Fantasy.
Because of all the Final Fantasy sequels they're doing now.
Sequels.
No.
Well, no. Okay.
Final Fantasy 10, Final Fantasy 10-2, Final Fantasy 13.
That's
Lightning
hang on.
Returns
No. Hey, hang on.
He wasn't part of any.
No,
of
I'm not saying he was. I'm just saying it's hysterical to hear
That's
it.
hysterical that he started the series.
Yes,
dislikes
that's
sequels,
so
and they're
funny to
fucking
me.
everywhere now.
Yeah.
Well, I think first of all, what he's
ironic.
saying. First of all, we know that the first bunch of Final Fantasy games were completely disconnected.
Yeah,
they weren't
obviously,
interconnected.
yes.
And then the second part of that is that the 10-2s, all of the sequels and spin-off stuff, that happened after he was gone.
That's why
Absolutely.
it's so ironic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he worked on 11 a little bit. I don't think he worked on it very much, but he left during 11's development.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mark Laidlaw, writer of Half-Life 1 and 2, is no longer working with Valve and appears to just be flat out retired. He's made no announcements of any plans to join any other studio or work on any other titles.
This is interesting.
Now, Valve owns Half-Life 2, right? This guy just wrote it.
Right, Valve is the owner.
So
of
if
it.
they want to go ahead and make a Half-Life 3, they still can.
Oh, yeah, Valve owns it. Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yep, they have the rights to it.
Yeah.
He's not taking it with him. It's not like the BioShock creator, Ken
Levine.
Ken Levine. He's
Yeah.
like, nah, fuck you guys. I'm taking my game with me.
Did he?
Deal with it.
Awesome.
No, he said, he's like, I don't want any more BioShock games, and I own them, and I quit. Deal with it. I paraphrased a little bit, but that's kind of how he said it.
It is basically what happened.
That's hilarious.
Yep, and now that studio's just like,
Oh.
great. I guess we'll make something else.
Another System Shock.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Outlast 2, sequel to the popular survival horror game, will be coming this fall. After the Whistleblower expansion to the first game brought that particular story to a close, developers have confirmed that this game will not take place at Mount Massive Asylum and will feature an entirely new environment, not an asylum at all.
Nice.
So I'm glad to see them getting away from that, as great as Outlast 1 and Whistleblower expansion were.
That is a butthole clenching game.
Oh God, yeah.
There is no more tense muscle in your body when you're playing Outlast than your butthole.
Like, everyone has got, like, that's been the thing that's really helped the Let's Play market, is people like who would never play like horror games, they'll watch other people doing it. Watching that game is so uncomfortable. There's so many moments in that game where you're just like, good Lord.
Yep.
It's-
It's a tough one to even watch.
I beg to differ when you are trying to catch a legendary and you forgot to save beforehand and you don't have a master ball. There's some butthole clenching
Have you
moments
watched
then.
Outlast?
Oh yeah, no. But I'm just saying, like it.
Have you watched the Whistleblower campaign?
No, Outlast is like that the whole time. Like every second of that game is like your butthole will cramp. I guarantee you will have butthole cramps.
What does that
You're
feel
not
like?
You're not really selling the game to me.
No.
Yeah.
I'd say if you played through the game or watch someone play through that game, if someone just goes, darling, you'll be like, oh God, get away from me.
Your rectum will be welded shut.
But it is an outstandingly
It is.
made game.
It is the game to play before you go to prison.
I am so excited to hear that they're trying to get away from the asylum environment, that they're going to try and try and do something new with Outlast 2. That's very cool.
I'm glad somebody caught that joke.
Yeah, no, we
Nico, of
got
all
it.
people.
We got it. We just tried to ignore it.
We tried to not get it. The Oculus Rift is officially available for pre-order with a price tag of $599.
Oh, that's all.
Co-founder Palmer Luckey calls it obscenely cheap for high-end VR apparatus.
I was gonna say that like you don't need anything extra with it. It's just like,
It's functional as is.
yeah, that actually does seem really fucking
It's worth
cheap.
noting it was originally intended to be sold in the $200 to $400 range, but it is due out in March. So we are finally getting there for the
like March 15 or
like
16?
March this year.
Wow.
It's due out.
Shit.
Wow.
All right, Chris, you want to top all my birthday gifts from previous years?
Yeah.
The Oculus Rift is here. It's coming.
That's
Let's win that 1.3 million, okay?
I mean, it
Billion.
is, like let's not treat this like it's not a big deal, because
It is a big deal.
This is
No,
supposed
yeah.
to be
Huge deal.
this is supposed to be the next big immersive leap in gaming.
I didn't realize it was actually that far along.
Well,
Yeah.
it's been in development now for a very long
No,
time.
right? Yeah, I know. But the fact that it's releasing in March, I feel like I should have heard more.
I
about
know.
it.
Like I was like when I read through the article, I'm sitting there like, wait, March?
Like March
Yeah.
2016?
Yeah, you're double checking the year and just like, no, okay, due out in March. All right,
That's nuts.
here we go.
That is nuts.
And apparently, anyone who was involved in the development of the game, who bought the pre-dev versions, will get
Right.
a new version of it.
Just for free. Lucky
What I hear.
bastards.
yeah.
Wish I wasn't on that.
Huh.
Square Enix has shuttered a program known fittingly as Shinra Technologies, which would see physics being rendered server-side in games and the results pushed to the players.
Now, what's the
What does that
significance of that?
Yeah.
I'm assuming it would mean computers with lesser graphical potential, ones that may not be able to handle the physics processing in real time, would not have to worry about it. They'd be
That
able
it
to
would
still
be
get the full
offloaded.
effect.
It would be offloaded and sort of, yeah.
Latency was always a concern for that, but lack of investors turned out to be the death knell, and SE is expected to absorb the near $17 million loss on the project.
$17 million.
Now, do you think investors looked at that and they thought, well, if people don't need that great of computers, they're not buying our
No,
technology?
no,
I think
did they look at it, see that it's called Shinra Technologies, and be like, no, we played your game.
those guys are bastards.
We know where this is going.
No, I think it was that investors looked at it and said, you know what? Computers with decent processing power are not the expense that they
Yeah,
once were.
That's exactly
They
what
are
that's-
not the
that's
gateway that they
exactly
used to
what I
be.
was thinking.
People are getting more and more processing power for less and less money, and I thought they said
Absolutely.
the market is disappearing for this. This is not a good investment.
Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. Now, what I think is interesting about this is, if you've been paying attention to Square Enix and its business decisions and some that it's made over the last 20 years, is that there was a while when when we were moving from the PlayStation 1 to the PlayStation 2 era, where Square Enix was very concentrated on being able to pump out the prettiest looking graphics. Like, that was what their specialty was.
Yeah.
As soon as they stopped making great RPGs, they just started making pretty graphics as much as you possibly
Great
can.
interactive movies.
Yeah.
And there is that whole movie studio that happened in that span of time too. So you had that, and they were also building graphics engines. Like, they were trying to push not only the video game industry, but they were trying to push the movie industry, which
Right.
is if you look at Spirits Within, that's exactly what that movie set out to do.
It was beautiful.
And they were
even now it's still great, but for its
it does
time,
still
was,
hold up.
you know.
Yeah, it's still pretty impressive now. But the thing is that, like, when it came out, it was just like, it was mind blowing. Nobody had ever seen anything like that. And so, I feel like they're starting to move away from that.
Yeah.
If you look at things like Square Enix is moving away from, the development of their own graphic tools engines like Crystal Tools or the White Engine or any of those things, and they've started to make their games using Unreal 4, and they've started to do things like shutter the Shinra program. I think that they're going to start concentrating on making games and less on pushing the technology side, because I think the technology side has just run away so quickly in the last 5 years, that they just can't keep up.
Yeah.
They don't have the capital to inject into something like that to be able to keep
And
up.
you know what? I'm fine with that.
That is
That doesn't
okay.
bug me.
I think that's a good. I think if that's where they're going in the long run, I think that's a good decision.
And here's the other thing to keep in mind: with all of the the remakes and the re-releases and the remasters and the the recycling of all their IPs, they're printing fucking money like bosses. So even though they have lost probably a lot of this, like on the Shinra stuff and on some of the other things you were talking
it's a
about,
drop in the bucket.
I think that going forward, they're probably going to have a pretty good year with some of these and then be able to invest, hopefully, in more IPs. And we can
Right.
see some new stuff coming out of the woodwork.
Right.
Well, it's nice to hope for.
All right, backpedaling real quick. Apparently, the Oculus Rift needs a computer to operate. Nico Tosca in the chat says,
Yes, because
I need a GTX 970 and a decent machine to run the Oculus.
Then you know what, that does kind of seem kind of high, because I'm like thinking, all right, if it's $600 or $500 or whatever it was, like how much was a PS4 and Xbox One when they first came out?
And it doesn't. And it doesn't like it doesn't.
Sorry, I was thinking we were asking it need to be attached to a console. No.
Yeah. Well, and
a
it
computer.
can't. But it can't attach to a console, right? Like, it's not. Is there an option?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so. I think that's why
Because
all of these
Sony
different,
and Xbox.
yeah,
are all
all of
getting
these
their
different
own.
companies are rushing to be able to develop their own. I
Project
think.
Morpheus.
Yeah, we have to make it sound cool. What is the PlayStation one called? I can't remember.
Project Morpheus.
Is that what's the Microsoft one then? Is there
Shit.
a Microsoft one? Oh shit.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Zing.
What the
Zing.
Microsoft
Good
one
one.
is.
Good one. I see what you did there.
All right.
Sony VR is one of them.
Sony VR, I believe that's Project Morpheus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Maybe they've taken that. That was the original tag that it ran with for a
Gotcha.
while. Maybe they've
Okay.
taken that off.
All right.
Shenmue 3 developers put out a poll asking if previously
This is
exclusive Kickstarter exclusive awards should be made available to those who donated to the project via PayPal. The reasoning behind that was PayPal was set up for those who were not able to give via Kickstarter. The vote overwhelmingly voted not to allow this, and the developers have confirmed those rewards will remain Kickstarter exclusive.
Why would they think that this is okay? Like, why? We've gone through this. Like, we've asked, like, okay, we've got the Patreon rewards, but like, should somebody get something for giving on PayPal? No. I mean, like, they're two different. It's two different things, two different platforms.
Except Patreon's like a monthly thing, whereas
Exactly.
Kickstarter is still a one-time donation, right? Just like PayPal.
Yes, but it has different reward levels. If we were trying to calculate everything that we were getting in off of PayPal and be like, oh, once you hit this level, you get a thing. It's like, dude, we would fucking Chris over here would have an aneurysm trying to keep up with that shit.
Yeah, fuck that.
The cameras would go on one day and the studio would just be caked in blood.
But I think what she's saying is it's not fair to compare PayPal to Patreon when you can compare PayPal to Kickstarter.
You're right.
Yeah, that's what
Kickstarter is
I'm
one time like PayPal, and the PayPal was set up for people that
They
just
flat out said,
could
you don't
not.
have a Kickstarter or you can't use Kickstarter to donate. We have a PayPal as an alternative.
Right.
But then they're
Okay.
going to say, oh, but if you use that, then fuck you don't
Yeah,
get the
yeah,
rewards.
like-
I feel like it's very, very different situation than Patreon, which are people who donate monthly or by content based or whatever
Yes.
on a regular basis. I think that's very, very different than a one-time Kickstarter donation.
Yeah, imagine there's that Kickstarter that you donated to for the new MS3TK reboot.
MST3K,
or whatever.
but yeah.
Right. So imagine you have $5,000 to put down. You want to
Right.
put towards it. For whatever reason, you can't use Kickstarter. So like, all
Okay.
right, we're setting up a PayPal for anyone who can't use Kickstarter. Here you go. Boom, there's your $5,000. Then you find out later, but you don't get the rewards.
Okay, yeah. See that? Okay, that if it was
let's
if
ask the
it-
Kickstarter.
Yeah,
Should we
okay.
give you
You
the
know what?
rewards?
I guess we're talking. When we think about the money that we take in, we're taking in massively less smaller dollar amounts than these guys. I mean, yeah, if you're dropping $5,000 on a PayPal donation for a thing. That's tough. Yeah, maybe I think maybe you should. It does seem like less of less of an accounting nightmare.
I feel like they shouldn't have asked Kickstarters. I feel like if they would have just said,
They
look,
did two separate polls.
Yeah.
One was to their Kickstarter people, and one was to everybody.
God.
They did.
They did. They did two separate polls for this. By the way, the Kickstarter one was much more one-sided.
Oh, but still, the one that's not solely Kickstarter.
But they both voted.
Here's
God.
my thing. Here's my thing though. Like, how selfish must those people be? Because they're just offering more rewards to other people. That's not taking your shit
Yeah,
away.
I agree.
Yeah.
Especially if like maybe
weird.
they like cut off like the PayPal donations past when the Kickstarter stops, so you can't be like, oh well, now that it's funded and I want to get these rewards.
I
3
could
months
see
later.
that being the case. Yeah.
How much more dodgy shit needs to go down with the Shenmue 3
Dude,
thing?
Shenmue, there has been some spooky development over there.
Seriously.
I'm over Shenmue 3. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Were you a Shenmue fan at all?
No.
Well,
Oh,
then,
well, then
you
you
weren't
were
into
never
it
on.
at all. Yeah.
All right. Last but not least, Steam has surpassed 12 million concurrent users, and this on the heels of news that Steam games were a $3.5 billion market in 2015.
I'm not proud of how much money I've given towards Steam since I've started.
Callow is 2% of that. Robbie is 2% of that.
Yeah.
Damn it.
God damn, you guys are fucking terrible.
Fuck off.
Y'all are fired.
These messages are reward enough for me for PayPal donations.
Oh,
Hashtag
hey,
did
that's
pretty,
awesome.
But I want to be friends with it.
Thor.
Thor.
I'm like, that sounded normal. I don't think that was Thor. And
No.
then that second part was like, all right, that's Thor.
There's Thor.
I don't actually have the visual alerts on over on
You
this channel.
son of a bitch.
No, I have it on one of these scenes, but I don't remember which one scene it is.
Wow.
Yeah, just something I
Quickly
forgot to
get over there.
Yeah.
And that's all for news. Finally, that was a big news segment.
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of discussion
Yeah,
out
we
of
had
it,
to.
too.
We had a
Yeah.
lot to talk about. Yeah.
That's the way the news goes.
I think that's actually part of the intro.
Is it?
I think it is.
Did we even hear the intro today? You just walked right into that.
Do you want me to prove it? I could play the intro again.
We'll just talk over it again. What it's like
here,
a
let's see.
Here
Oh, Jesus.
to do the news
Let's
tonight.
see.
And that's the way.
See, and that's the way the news goes.
Ladies
Yep,
and
see, you dumb piece of shit,
He's so salty.
stupid asshole.
So upset.
You're so mad.
Because I hate you.
Why mad, bro?
Because you're the worst. Why? I spend time making a thing, and then you fuck it up, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just done. I'm not gonna use it anymore. You make me bring it out, and then you talk over it. I fucking hate all of you.
To be fair,
Come on, don't be shitty.
Yeah, exactly. Stop being
it was,
shitty.
I'm talking to you.
It was Callie that talked over it.
I helped.
Oh, okay.
I helped.
Well, at least.
See, I just want you to play it because I know you worked hard on it, and I'm your friend, and I want to be able
Shut
to
up.
up.
You shut up.
Shut up.
If you believed for 1 second that one of us
Oh my
wasn't going
God.
to talk over it, you would not have asked to have that played.
I thought you guys were gonna be cool. Be
Oh,
cool,
yeah.
guys. Be cool.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Be cool.
See, I just didn't load it, and I was trying to hide my own error. Yeah, see,
There it is.
see, I was trying to cover my own ass, and then you guys got to
Okay.
you got to give me shit about
Oh,
it. Now it's just no longer a thing.
First, we drag his mistakes through the mud and then punish him for it.
Now you just don't get a news intro anymore, Callie.
sorry.
How do you feel about that?
Not too bad. It was shitty anyway.
Bro, I'm sorry. If I'd have known that, I'd have had your back. I'd have covered for you.
Would you?
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
God.
No, you wouldn't.
He
Don't lie.
smiles as he gets ready to just slip the knife in
don't
at any
lie.
given
I'm not
moment.
Don't
Smiling.
lie.
You
You
can't- you
liar.
don't know
You're a
that.
filthy fucking
Oh,
liar.
I'm on the camera. They do know that.
You're a filthy liar.